you should know going into this that if you have a seller who's on the line, even if they're motivated and they have good reason to leave, if they're already throwing out numbers, that's a red flag, okay? Now, you can work with that. You can work with that either way, but you just have to know that that's the number they have cemented in their brain. Whether or not it makes sense to you, whether or not it makes sense to anybody's reality or the laws of physics and reality themselves in the universe doesn't matter, because your seller, the person that you're about to go talk to and beat them down over price and tell them that their house isn't worth anything and why they should sell it to you for 50 cents on the dollar, you're about to run that price by them, and they have a way higher price that's probably pretty close to retail already locked in their brain, and for good reason, okay? It doesn't have to make sense to you. It doesn't matter, but just know that going into this, if you're talking to people and they're already throwing out numbers, you have a problem, okay? Or you have a potential problem, but you need to be aware of that. So that's pro tip number 1. That's worth $1 million right there. Okay. Or at least thousands of dollars in fees that I could be charging people to teach this stuff too. Number 2, the big thing you need to be careful of. Pro tip number 2, and this is one that's worth another fortune. Be very careful about putting numbers out there over the phone, or putting numbers out there before you are ready to make your official offer on the property, okay? Because once numbers start to go out, numbers get locked in people's brains, and they get locked in there pretty quickly and pretty tightly. So if you overshoot a number that you really don't know if you can pay for it, well, you're going to be stuck with it, and your seller will remember that. So let's say you have a property that, you can pay max $100,000 for, but over the phone, you're like, yeah, maybe we could go 140, 150, just shooting off the hip. When you drop $100,000 price on them and they go, whoa, wait a minute, you said 140, 150. I guarantee you that will happen 99 times out of 100. They will never forget that, okay? They've already been pumping themselves up, and they've already been mentally spending all that money that you promised them, quotation fingers, over the phone, all right? So be real careful about that. So, and conversely, be real careful about going too low. You'll turn a lot of people off. You really can't tell them the truth. Like, hey, so it's $100,000 property, and you have no intention of offering them any more than like $50,000 or $55,000. Okay. You can't tell them that. So tell them, say, hey, we can get close. We have to look and see what the repairs are. I really can't give you a number until yada, 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 until you get the numbers, until you talk to them, until you see what the property is like, this and that. And the best way to manage that I would say the best way to handle it is just be upfront and honest with them. Say, look, we have a policy, and if you don't have a policy, who cares? Just make it up. We have a policy where we never give an offer over the phone. We never give a hard offer over the phone, and just tell them it's because we don't want to show up. I don't want to insult you over the phone by giving you too low of a number without seeing the property, because you're right. It might be worth more. It might be worth every penny, but I don't know until I see it. Okay. And that's only fair. And the second part is that I don't want to offer you a number that's too high and set expectations too high and then show up and I can't pay that price. Okay. Actually, and you'd be surprised how receptive people are to that. And then you'd also be surprised at how many people get super upset and angry and all pissed off because you're just not giving them their magic number over the phone, because that's all they want. They just want the number, but don't give it to them, okay? We'll get into that deeper and deeper into this podcast, but never, the price that you're going to pay is your leverage. That's your only leverage. And once you give that away, the seller may just be like, okay, thanks, and then never talk to you again. Don't give these people a number. That's your leverage. Never, ever give these people a number until you're ready to sign. And that's one of the things that you will learn as you go through this, is that never give the number until you know they're ready to sign. Are you ready to make a deal today? Okay. Are you ready? So if I make an offer on your property, are you ready to sign it over today? Because I have to move on this, yada, yada, yada. You have business to do, but we'll get into that later. If the answer is no, I have to think about it, this and that, anything other than a resounding yes, then don't give it to them, and you will piss people off. Be ready for that. You're going to piss people off either way, but be ready for people to be legitimately pissed at you, and they're going to cuss you out, and they're going to say things, they're going to threaten you and all the rest of it. I've had it all happen to me. But because they want that number, and what they want that number for is they're just tire kicking, or they just want to see what you'll give them, or they want to compare it to all the other numbers that people are talking about. Okay. But this is your only leverage. And here's why. Once you give them a number, if they're not ready to sign with you, if you haven't talked them into it, if all the conditions aren't right, once they have that number, they're going to kick you to the curb. You're yesterday's news, and they're going to look at somebody else to go, okay, look, Rob came over here and offered me $90,000 for my condo. But I have 7 other yellow letters here, and I'm going to call all those people and say, hey, look, I just had an offer on this place for 90 grand. And I have to do better than that. And then what happens is they have everybody come in, all these other wholesalers, all of your competition, and they know that the bottom number is 90, and they're going to see as close to 90 as they can get going over that by and making a better number for them. And then if your seller can't get better than 90, then guess what? They're going to call back. They're going to call you back and get 90 and expect $90,000 for a condo that they couldn't get anybody else to pay that close for. Okay, so never give that number out. It's your only leverage. And the way that you leverage it is that. So let's say I knew then what I know now. Is I would have walked in, I would have given her 5 minutes tops. As soon as I smelled dog pee and dog poop everywhere, I would have been like, okay. I would have maybe walked around for 5 minutes and said, how much did you say that you needed? $110,000 minimum. Okay. Or whatever the price was. I think it was $130,000 minimum. Okay. Well, I can tell just by looking around that I really can't pay that price for this place. The number I'm going to give you probably isn't even come close to what you need. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you showing me the place, but I can't make an offer on it. She's going to get pissed. She's going to get upset. Why won't you give me a number? Why not that? Just tell me something. Just give me a number. And I'd have been like, nope, sorry. Here's my card. So then what happens is, and this is where the leverage part comes in, I go away. Now she and her boyfriend are stuck thinking about what's this magic number? What's this number that he's got? What is he willing to pay? What did he see that we didn't see? You have to let him marinate a little bit. You got to let him ruminate on it a little bit. Okay. Then you got to let him call some other people and have them come over and then tell her the same thing that you were going to tell her. Hey, it smells like dog piss in here. There's dog poop all over the floors. Your popcorn ceilings need to come down. They're already falling down anyway. There's flooring, fixtures and paint that all needs to be done. So let somebody else do all that hard work for you. Let them get pissed off at the other wholesalers, and they'll remember, hey, Rob came here and he saw some things that this person saw, but he wouldn't give me a number. And then they'll call you back and then you can play the game with them. Okay. And then they'll have already been opened up a little bit. They'll have been seasoned a little bit to the idea that they're just not going to get their price, and they've already been pissed off at somebody else, and that person hasn't been you. So maybe you can pick up where the other person left off. I've had it happen to me probably 20 times. All right. I've been the bearer of bad news, missed out on a deal only for someone else to come in after I came in and dropped all the hard bombs on them. And they got the deal afterward for a pretty reasonable price. Okay. So don't let that person be you. Don't give them a number. Don't give them a lot of explanations. Give them your card and walk away. Let them go, walk all over another wholesaler or another salesperson. Don't let it be you. Okay. Do you want to get into real estate investing? Do you want to start wholesaling? But you don't know where to start, you don't have any money, and you don't even have a contract. On Amazon, you can buy my book, We Buy Houses Cash, the inside story of a wholesale real estate investor buying homes with no money down. This is the book that I wrote that gives you the A to Z nuts and bolts about wholesale real estate investing, as well as stories from live negotiations that I did that were a success and a few of them that went horribly wrong, so you can learn the right way to do wholesale real estate. Available on Amazon. Are you short on money to fund your business? On this video and the link below, you can get to Fund and Grow, where they will give you the money to fund your business so you can actually get the leads that you need to start qualifying good sellers so you can get good deals in the front door and start making money and get your business going the right way. This is our website. You can get a link to the book right here. You can get a link to our contracts. These are the same contracts that I use to buy over $3 million of single family homes right here at the top, as well as links to Fund and Grow, where you can get your business funded.